Thank you, gents. Hello, nice to meet you.
Hello, mate.
How you doing? Just tell us how all excited you are for Saturday. We'll start with you, Sam.
Listen, I think it's been building up since obviously the Stevenage game, but now it's upon us. It's a real excitement.
Right.
Yeah, listen, excited, obviously as a management team, but for the players, something for them to experience, going to a different stadium. Obviously there's going to be vastly more fans compared to what we normally have. So yeah, the experience for the lads to understand what it's really like to play against a championship team, and the atmosphere that's going to be there.
For myself, obviously Craig and Sam just touched on it. Excited for the entire community, Maidstone as a whole, our football club, obviously our owners, more so for our players who are history makers. A great occasion, a historic moment for them all. Like Craig touched on us, we're going to a special club in Ipswich town, and what's not to love about that, what's not to celebrate about it. But it's a historic moment, and we just want our players to go there and enjoy, obviously, competing against championship professionals and enjoy showcasing their talents and making sure they do themselves proud and the entire Maidstone community.
Yeah, I mean, just carry on from what they're saying. It's just big excitement with everybody around. Obviously, like cameras are around and coming to the club. Players ain't normally used to that. So no, it's good. It's good. Everyone's excited. Can't wait to test ourselves against a good championship side.
Did you all think back when you started in September that you'll be in the fourth round and the cameras will be here and you're going to be live on BBC One on Saturday? I mean, you've done so well to get this far.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back to last season, losing that to Needham Market, if you said that this time around we're going to be in the fourth round, no one would have believed it. But it's just a big change from that, really.
I'm just adding on to what Gavin has said, our club captain. It's important that we approach one day at a time, and every time we come out on this pitch to train, we want our players to bring out the best version of themselves. Us as a management team, we try to put a structure from pre-season, the off-season, pre-season, and then obviously when the season started, we took it one game at a time. And when the cup competition started, in terms of where we came into, I think 6 games ago, when we started the run, it was about making sure we respect the opposition and make sure we do all our due diligence on them and try to drip feed that back to our entire squad to make sure we give them every bit of information that they need to know about the opposition we're coming up against, their strengths, their limitations, what sort of formations, what sort of personnel they might be coming up against, and giving them every chance to be successful in those games. So in terms of your question about, did we think? Very much so. You go into every game, we go into every game to try and be the best version of ourselves, to try and make sure if we don't win, we try to get maximum point, but if it's a cup game, to try and progress. And that's exactly what we've done throughout this competition. And Ipswich Town, we know the magnitude of the game, we know how good they are in terms of the respect we're going to show them. In our preparations, we've done that, and we're still doing that. And we know we're going into a tough stadium to come up against a very good championship outfit. Kieran is doing a fantastic job with them, and rightly so. What's not to be excited about for our players to test themselves against a championship outfit?
Listen, I think throughout the years, an aim for us was always to try and get to round one for a club of our calibre. But we've exceeded that by a good stretch. But like Gaffer just said, every game we come across, we try and do ourselves justice. We obviously go out to win, and obviously we've shown that against 2 league sides already. So come Saturday, we're going to try and give a good count of ourselves, and we're going to look to go and win, obviously.
So I read Maidstone got 4,500 tickets. So how many times have you not been pestered for tickets by your friends and family?
There's a few of us. Obviously, we got first dibs on our tickets, so we had a few family members, friends coming out of the woodwork. More so than none. But listen, it'd be a great occasion. Obviously, my family and my friends are coming to watch, and like Gav said with the Maidstone community, that's what it's all about.
You mentioned going out last year, but I just wondered what do you think's been so special this season that's almost made you to get to this point? Is it something you feel wrong?
Firstly, as a management team, we try to build an environment for our players to enjoy, to make sure they don't see it as a job, they see it as a hobby. And that's what we've done from day one in pre-season. We put the group together, not just good footballers, but good people. And when you have good people around your environment, it's important that, we try and help them as a management team to be better and to try and instill a lot of belief in the group as a whole. And that's what we've done all season. In the league, in the cup competitions, we've done that. And, we know as they're not going to be at their best every single game, but we try to make sure there's that environment for them to flourish, for them to an open environment, for them to improve. And we look at it as one game at a time. We are never too far ahead of ourselves. It's having the right balance in victories and in defeat as well. As a football club, I think we've done well this season in terms of having that balance within our structure, within the team. But the players, they drive the standards. They want to keep high standards. And that's us as a management team. We drive that as well in terms of how we operate in training, but also approaching game day, how the informations we feed back into the squad for them to go out and flourish. We give them tactical guidelines, but the decision is there for them to make those decisions on the pitch, to be free and to enjoy making the decisions. They might get sometimes they might get it wrong, and we accept that, and that's the human side of it, and we understand that as a management team. And so that structure has been there for them to operate from.
I mean, you mentioned enjoyment a couple of times, but I just wonder how important is it for the team to enjoy it and for people to have fun this weekend in what is a huge occasion?
It's a historic moment from, when we knew we was going to be coming up against a League Two outfit in Barrow. We knew they were a very good side. I think they went 12 games unbeaten before they played Maidstone. We knew they were sitting third in League Two. And it was about going out and competing against a League Two professional players to ensure that, the boys go out with confidence, knowing that all the work we did in pre-season when they were doing lots of 800 meters runs around this stadium. Some of them were feeling sick on the sideline, and we keep telling them the moment will come when this is what is going to happen on the pitch in terms of fitness. You're not going to be lacking, but it's just the tactical side of the game. But we've seen that in huge margins this season, and also in the FA Cup competition, coming up against a good side in Stevenage in the last round. And to be honest, when that draw was made, I did say it was winnable. And I've got the text message to back that if anyone wants to dare me. But yeah, I did say it was winnable because we didn't have the glamorous tie that we wanted. And I was happy with that draw against a good side in Stevenage. And the players took it on board and they went out and performed exceptionally well. And that's all we ask of as a management team. Win, draw, lose, we would have known. We've given a good account of ourselves, but more so, we've represented Maidstone United Football Club and the community as a whole exceptionally well.
Yeah, listen, it's something you always dream of to obviously aspire to play against a top side, and I think every game we've gone out against, and it's funny you say about the Manager of the Cup, when we played the lower league sides, sometimes they're the tougher opponents, and then obviously when we flipped it to Barrow and Stevenage, we're the underdog and we still are now, and we kind of thrive off that because we go out and we've got nothing to lose. As long as, like you said, we give a good account of ourselves and we stick to the game plan, anything can possibly happen.
Yeah, I think it's Manager of the Cup is for the teams like ourselves, the lower league teams, getting an opportunity to play at these bigger stadiums. Yeah, exactly that.
George, can I ask you, you mentioned Kieran McKenna before. He's regarded as one of the brightest young managers around. Do you see this as a personal challenge, you against him as well as the teams against each other?
No, not at all. Kieran is in a completely different league to where I am at the moment. I've just started my managerial career. This year is my first full season, so I know where I know my lane, if you want to put it that way, in terms of your question. It's not George versus Kieran McKenna. It's about Maidstone United against Ipswich Town, and it's about our community. It's always going to be about us. We want to make sure we go out to Ipswich, go up there with our supporters and have a fantastic occasion. And hopefully our players can enjoy the day. And I'm going to be making sure, us, the management team, is going to be making sure they enjoy walking out at Portman Road, but also enjoy the build-up of it all, because this is the magic of the FA Cup. So I don't see it as George versus Kieran McKenna. I respect what he's doing in the game, and I'm sure he's going to respect what I'm doing as well. But no, it's about our group of players, Maidstone United Football Club and Ipswich Town.
What is it? Can you define?
It'd be really difficult to define it for sure, but I think since Gaffer and Craig have come in, they've installed and implemented a way that they want us to play, and obviously just being generally good people, having a good group around us is massive. Going out on the pitch and having boys wanting to run through brick walls for you and have that desire to run that extra yard to make sure we see out the game, like you've seen in previous fixtures. Stevenage, Barrow, boys are throwing themselves on the line just for the pure fact that we want to get further in this competition. So that's obviously comes from us as boys, but obviously Gaffer and Craig and Zach himself have brought these people in because they know them and know what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, so we see that Gaffer and Craig have been at the top level. They're bringing on what they've learned at the top, and they're bringing all that professionalism on and off the pitch. I think that also comes into it. So being a professional off the pitch brings how you're going to perform on the pitch. And I think, as you said, it shows in our professional performances now, that everyone's listening and taking on board what they're saying.
You played for Trinidad in Argentina against Buenos Aires against the likes of Messi and Di Maria. How is this going to compare Saturday to playing in that sort of game?
It's completely different. I mean, we've had 6 games just before this coming up to it, so it all builds up, and I get to lead the team out. Hopefully, I'm saying.
Are you gonna be starting?
Hopefully, I get to lead the team out. But yeah, it's definitely up there. Like the biggest thing in my career. I'm coming near the end of it now, so might not get these opportunity again. So
just generally for everyone, how do you actually cause an upset on Saturday? Obviously, you have to stick to game plan. You almost have to expect that it's a whole which have to stick up or bad game. Is there more to that than just having the right approach?
That's this one. Listen, it's magic of the FA Cup. We spoke about it, but in terms of the way we'd speak to the players going forward with that, he's just mentioned it could be one of the biggest games in his career. I know Gav's got kids, myself, family members. So when you're looking back as we've played, it's how can you make your family proud? How are they going to remember what you've done? People are looking up to you, people that helped you get to that stage. So I'm sure when Gav's playing, if he is starting on Saturday, we'll be thinking about his family, thinking about making them proud. And I'm sure that will make him run that extra yard. So those feelings for everybody, not just Gav, obviously Sam and the rest of the players, is those people that are in the stands, all the people that are asked for tickets, all the Maidstone fans that are at home or people that are watching on TV. They're playing for themselves, but they're playing for the whole of Maidstone and a legacy of the football club. No one's got this far in the FA Cup so far for this club. So what they do on that pitch on Saturday, again, like you said, from what you've said there, you don't think we're going to get through to the next round in terms of Ipswich needing not to turn up.
Yeah.
But if we turn up on the day, Magic in the FA Cup, anything could happen. So again, that's life-changing for all these boys, this football club, us as a management team. So that is a massive motivation in terms of going forward. So yeah, it's just giving respect, but not too much, because you still have friends and family at home who you want to make proud, and yourselves and a legacy which we're trying to create, yeah.
And Sam, you scored the winner in the last round. It'd be good to do that again this time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, when obviously them opportunities arise, obviously I was fortunate to take the penalty and obviously to score. But like Craig just said, you just want to give a good account of yourself. Maidstone's a big community. I coach within the community. There's young kids, girls that aspire to play at the top level. And even though I'm not at the top level, I'm playing against a big opponent, and I want to show them that just because they're playing in a champ and I'm playing in the Conference South doesn't mean I can't have a good go here and a good battle between whoever I'm up against on the day.
And George, just one name from me. I think you invited Mick McCarthy to the last game. He's watching on telly this time. Can you sort of tell us what his influence has been on you personally?
Personally, it's about building relationships wherever you are in your life, working for any organization. For me as an individual, when I started on this footballing journey, it was about first being selfless, doing the selfless work for the organization that I work for, or the football clubs, and Mick is no different. To when I went to Wolves, straight away I knew he was someone that I could count on to help first improve me as a player. He got me to Wolves and backed me all the way throughout my good times, and also when I was injured as well, stuck by me. And when I came back from those injuries, gave me my Premier League debut and made sure he didn't just stop there. Made sure I kept improving as a person, as a young man, but also as a footballer. Him and his management team, and even after our departures, because he went and I left as well, we still kept in touch. It was about having that friendship, but also the mentorship. Still kept in touch over all those years. So when this opportunity came, obviously, when I started taking my coaching badges, he was one of the ones I reached out to, and he encouraged me to go for it because he saw leadership qualities in myself that I didn't see in myself. And he went, I think you become a great manager one day, but you just need to find the right football club and also have the right people to work for. In our owners, I've got that in terms of their backing. They're honest people. They're people with integrity. And when you look back as well, is someone that's always been there on the phone. Whenever I reach out with a text message, it doesn't take up to 5 minutes. He comes back to me. If I reach out to call him, he's always there to pick up the phone. And you have those relationships in football. And it's all created from our time at Wolves, me being the person that I was at the time when I played under him. But also, it's about making sure, I did, like Sam, Gavin has said, about running through brick walls for the management team because they are good people. He was that person, and I gave my all playing under him, and he could recognize that. And he keeps reminding me and said, if there's one person that never let me down, one player, it was George Elokobi. Not even in training, you never down-tooled. You gave me everything in training and made sure you kept everyone in check. And I'll never forget that. So it's powerful when the game that we had against Stevenage at the time was the historic moment for us, Maidstone United Football Club. And, I reached out to him and I said, would you mind coming down and watching this game and making sure you're part of history? Because I knew we could make history as a football club. And, what better way to spend that day with my former manager, and he jumped onto the chance. He was quite honored, and, his compliments towards the club is evident, and he's found a new club in Maidstone. I think deep down, he's a little fan. Obviously wants me to do well in management. But no, so touching on it, Yes, that's the relationship we had, and we still have that up to this very day. And it's very rare in football you see that.
Did you actually say the Stevenage made something through the ringer for the last 10 minutes? Is that a compliment or not? Where you're so into what you were trying to do, Maidstone generally, that must be. I suppose it must be quite a nice thing to hear that he wasn't looked at dispassionately. He was like really keen for you to do that.
No, he was. He came here to support George Elokobi and Maidstone United Football Club. Make no mistakes about it. He wanted us to do well as a football club, but also the selfish side is he wanted George Elokobi to do well because we are friends. And you know that last 10 minutes, as a manager, as a former manager, he was sitting in the stands just like the entire Maidstone community and all the admirers that we've got around the world supporting us. I'm sure they were all vying for us to get through. And because we had earned our luck and also our group of players had given everything to that moment, and everyone must have been wishing the magic of the FA Cup happens then, which was, fascinating to see at the end. It was, these boys, the players, what they've done is magical. What they've done, the magnitude of that result is put this community in the map, in the eyes of the world and the eyes of yourself, the cameras. Today, this is just a testament to what Mick McCarthy saw on the day, and he was absolutely delighted after the game. I would love to play you the message, but I won't play it. I'll keep that to myself.
Sorry, can I just ask one more? This club was on its knees in 1992, I read, and I think that's about Dartford. So just some of the people must still work here, or you must have fans, 30 watching that 30. Just how proud do you think they will be that you've been on this journey this season that's probably going to have seen the lows and then they're going to see the highs? So how proud do you think they'll be on Saturday at Portman Road when they're in the stands?
I'll let Craig answer that a bit.
Listen, I haven't been here long. It's just coming up to a year now, isn't it? It's coming up near enough a year. So the thing that touched me the most of the last game was the people that were knocking the office. And not just knocking to say well done, but they were actually in tears because the emotion they're getting through, but how much the club means to people that work at the football club. It's not massive in terms of the staff. There are people that have 3 or 4 jobs. So it means so much that things are going well on the pitch, but it means it's not just us on the pitch, it's everything around it and the work that goes on behind the scenes. Yes, we're at the forefront as players and obviously the management team, but the stuff that goes on behind that sometimes doesn't get spoke about. So seeing the delight in everyone's face, and it's going to mean so much on Saturday that Maidstone are watching, or Maidstone fans, the community are watching their team walk out at Ipswich at Portman Road. It's massive, massive for the area. They'll be so proud. Listen, we're going to give a good account of ourselves. Anything can happen, but listen, if we were to lose the game, I'm sure people will be proud because at the start of the season, like you said, they never would have thought that we'd be walking out there. So it's going to be a massive day for everyone, not just ourselves, but the people that work at the club and the fans themselves, yeah.
What's happening with the prize money? Have you been in for the transfer money? Does that get spent on stadium?
Listen, you sound like a good agent. If you leave your number on this table, we'll put you forward.
George, you mentioned that this is spread the word about Maidstone. Are you now, is Maidstone United now the biggest club in Cameroon? Are you getting messages?
I think obviously Cameroon being the national sport is football, and wherever one of their compatriots is at or playing or coaching, they just want to support. And I'm no different to that. When we beat Barrow, it made national news in Cameroon. In my region, the little town I came from, Kumba, and the college I went to, St. Joseph's College Sase, was an inspirational moment for everyone connected to George Elokobi. And back in Cameroon, the messages I've been getting has been overwhelming. They've come via text messages, they've gone through Twitter, Instagram, the social media platforms, but more so, even had calls from the British Cameroonian consulate in England as well. So that's to tell you the magnitude of what I'm doing. I'm the first Cameroonian to have ever managed an English outfit, let alone be in the 4th round of the FA Cup as a manager. But it's not just about me, it's about a group of players, It's about my management team, the work that we've put in behind the scenes for the last 18 months since we've been here. Believe me or not, we haven't taken a day off. We take no day for granted, and it's good to see what that hard work or where that hard work is taking us to. And it's global, and it's not just in Cameroon, it's in America as well. The messages I've got from there, and and I'm sure everyone will be waiting for Saturday, 12:30 kickoff, and it's going to be an incredible day for everyone connected to myself and Maidstone United Football Club. So for your question, yes, Maidstone United Football Club has a lot of fan base now in Cameroon, all thanks to George Elokobi.
Sam, you mentioned your coaching roles. What lessons, if any, has this whole experience taught you you're going to be able to pass to those youngsters?
Yeah, listen, a lot of boys and girls already come down and watched the upset at the Barrow and the Stevenage game. So, yeah, to say the least, they're over the moon. I had a few parents go to me, you're like, God, you're like Ronaldo for Maidstone. But yeah, listen, it's just a great aspiration for them to look towards what they can achieve. Can they achieve to be in the FA Cup, let alone playing in the Champions League or beyond that? So yeah, it's nice to have that relationship with them, and they're seeing me try and express what I've been trying to express to them.
And then, George, you said in the past, and this is a question to everybody, but you said in the past before league games, you go into every game to win. What changes or stays the same between your approach to a league game and a game like this?
We don't change. Us as a management team, obviously, he's not spoken enough. Zach Foster-Crouch is my head of recruitment, but also, our goalkeeping coach. We do send him out. He goes out. He's got scouts that goes out and they watch games. We do watch games as well. And we just want to make sure going into a game or on game day -2, so 2 days before a game, we try to give the players, we prepare them right tactically in terms of in possession, out of possession principles and in transition principles. And we try and, give them what they might be coming up to in terms of the opposition that we're coming up against. And it's no different this week. Ipswich is no different. We had a game on Tuesday, which was against Braintree. And after that game, our focus was all about Ipswich. We know how good they are at home. We know how good they are away from home. They've got a fantastic squad, a great management team behind them. So we'll be foolish to change how we've done things in the past just because it's Ipswich. We're showing them every bit of respect leading to this game. Rightly so, they're second in the championship for a reason. And we know if we're not on our absolute best on the day, then, it might be disastrous. And even if it's disastrous, we're going to be proud of our group of players. And we just want to prepare them right and make sure physically they are ready for what's to come. Tactically, they'll be ready, but also psychologically and socially, we want to make sure they're right for that occasion. And we've not changed anything, how we've done it. It doesn't matter if we're coming up against a Braintree side or an Ipswich side. We just focus on what we've been doing.
Your response as well. Do you change anything going into this game as the
No, not really. I mean, these games are easy to get up for. It's more so you've got to make sure everyone's sticking to the game plan, not going off script. Sometimes at the occasion you might want to try and do something extra, but it's very important we stick to the game plan and not try and do anything you don't normally do, and stick to the script, stick to the game plan, really.
But don't forget enjoying the game.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy the game.
100%.
Gents, Sean Skirstone's live. Question for all four of you. Has there been a particular highlight or moment so far this season from the cup run? Doesn't necessarily have to be something on the pitch, it could be something personal, off field. To all four of you, anything that springs out?
I'm going to say after the Stevenage game, I don't think I've received so many hugs when all the fans come running on the pitch. Every second I'm getting a hug, so yeah, that's definitely up there for the cup run.
Yeah, obviously the last two previous games, I've been fortunate to score a moment for myself and my family. They've witnessed it on the day themselves. Yeah, so it's lovely to score and obviously help your team to get success into the next round.
I'd say the Barrow game was a standout one for me, but the first one really because it's just winning that game when nobody had thought we would had a chance, and then you get that extra belief from the players in terms of what we're trying to do day in and day out. Obviously in league games, but everything came off in the day. We kind of knew what they were going to do. We near enough picked the team that they were going to pick, so we were totally prepared. And it was just the way everything just fell perfect that day. So yeah, that one, and then the Stevenage result. Again, no one fancied us to win that game as well. So it's just getting through and seeing the joy on the players' face, and listen, waiting to see who you're going to see in the draw. That is the big thing to look forward to. You never know what could happen after Saturday.
The highlight for me was obviously connected to everyone associated to Maidstone United Football Club. Just seeing our group of players, the way they were celebrating. Some of them were in tears. Some of our fans were in tears, running towards me and after the Stevenage game. And it was sort of, I was just laughing. Why was I laughing? Because I knew it was possible, deep down, I knew it was possible. And then, like Craig has touched on, the preparations leading to the Stevenage game was near enough perfect in terms of, our scouting reports that was put in place by Zach Foster-Crouch and the way he presented to our players in terms of helping them, our preparation. And we went out and the boys took on board everything we was telling them. And the most important thing was the belief. They went out there believing that they could cause the big upset in the FA Cup third round and become history makers. And at the end, just to see, I know, the pitch got invaded, but just to see the young boys and girls that ran on the pitch, for me, epitomizes everything about what our football club means to our community. But it's not just that, it was the sheer magnitude of the media coverage after that game. And, watching our players, I must have watched Sam Corne more than I've watched Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi in my time. So that's just what it meant, because every TV program or most TV programs, it was all about Maidstone United Football Club. And it just shows what our group of players have achieved. And for me to obviously share that moment with my family as well, my two young kids, it was incredible. And they haven't stopped talking about it. But also, it was about my staff as well, because, I'm blessed to have a good staff around me, support staff, and we just empower each other to try and do the best we can for Maidstone United Football Club. But also not forgetting, I've got my director of football who's been in football for more than 60 odd years, B. Williams, and I'm sure this moment or that win would have been up there with anything that he's ever achieved in football in his wildest dreams, and also to our ownership. Our two owners, Mr. Oliver Ash and Mr. Terry Casey, just to see they've kept this club sustainable for so many years. They've been through turbulent moments in terms of the ups and the downs of football. Last season, we was on our knees a little bit in terms of results on the football pitch. And we used to say, fast forward a year later, here we are. Here are the cameras, and what's not to serve. Those are moments that I take with me, and I carry them and I wear them with pride as the manager of this football club. But we don't want it to end there. We want to keep working hard, regardless of we'll get the FA Cup out of the way. We want to make sure, we look after our league as well to make more history and create more history for one another. I can never give you that. I wish everyone was available, but obviously we might be missing one or two. And, that's why we got a squad. We have to make sure we choose from a squad and see it fit. Who is going to be starting? I don't know yet. We, as a management team, will decide that because that's what we do. And we have to make sure we prepare all the players right. So all of them needs to come in tomorrow, make sure they come with the mindset of starting, and even, going into Saturday, everyone needs to be on the same wavelength in terms of knowing what their jobs, roles, and responsibilities are within the team structure. So we're going to prepare all the players, and they're going to come with the mindset of they are starting, because you never know with this management team. We keep our cards close to our chest. But yeah, that's why we got a squad. Whoever is missing from the squad, someone else comes in. It's an opportunity for someone else to come in and showcase what they're about. And I'm sure the one that's missing out is going to be supporting the one that is going to be starting as well. That's why we've had so much things to celebrate this season thus far. And yeah, that's how we're gonna go about it.
Hey James, I'd like to thank you for being here today. We are aware there are individual requests for